Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video, part 4 of the series, we're moving on to the sleeves, which are the final major step in finishing a top-down raglan sweater. In this video, I'll walk through how to put the sleeve stitches back onto needles, join in the round, knit the sleeves, shape them with clean tapered decreases, and finish everything off with the cuffs. Let's get started. First, before placing the sleeve stitches back onto your needles, you'll pick up the required number of stitches at the underarm as specified in your pattern. These picked up stitches help close the gap under the arm and create a smooth, comfortable transition from the body to the sleeve. Aim to pick up stitches evenly along the underarm edge, choosing spots that look tidy and well spaced, but don't worry about being perfectly precise. Any small gaps or uneven areas can be cleaned up later when you weave in your ends and gently secure the underarm during finishing. Now, to move on to the sleeve stitches held on scrap yarn. To begin, remove the scrap yarn, exposing the live stitches. You can work the sleeves using either a small circular needle or double-pointed needles, depending on your preference and the circumference you're working with. Then slowly begin slipping the stitches onto your needle, making sure they're sitting neatly and facing the correct direction, with no twists. This is a good moment to slow down and check that everything looks clean before continuing. If it feels easier, you can leave the scrap yarn in place and simply slide your needle through the stitches with the scrap yarn acting as a holder, then remove it once you're finished. Here, I'll be knitting the sleeves using DP-ends, so I'm picking up the stitches as evenly as possible and distributing them across 3 double-pointed needles. Now that all of the sleeve stitches are transferred onto my needles, it's time to knit around. To begin, I'll introduce the working yarn by holding it as if to knit, then I'll immediately join in the round via the invisible join technique. Slip the first stitch from the left needle to the right needle, pass the working yarn over it to close the gap. I have dedicated videos explaining the invisible join technique on my channel, and you can find those linked in the cards above too. This is where you'll place your end of round stitch marker, right at the point where you joined. From here, I'll continue knitting in the round as usual for the number of rounds specified in the pattern, until it's time to work a decrease round. Here's what it looks like after a few rounds of knitting, and just as I'm approaching a decrease round. This next round is where the decreases will be worked. It's worth noting that sleeve shaping can be done in a few different ways depending on the design. Some sweaters space decreases evenly around the sleeve, while others place them in specific locations. In this pattern, the decreases are worked along the underside of the sleeve, so you'll want to follow the pattern instructions closely for where and how to work them. For this decrease round, I'll begin by working a knit 2 together stitch, then knit around as usual. When I reach the final stitch of the round, I'll work a knit 2 together stitch through the back loop. These 2 decreases sit right next to each other along the underside of the sleeve and lean toward one another, which creates a clean, subtle taper without drawing attention to the shaping. Once the decrease round is complete, I'll continue knitting in the round as directed in the pattern, working the specified number of plain rounds before the next decrease. I'll repeat this process until all of the sleeve shaping is finished. You can see how neatly the tapered decreases sit along the underside of the sweater, creating a smooth, subtle line of shaping that stays hidden when the sweater is worn and keeps the rest of the sleeve looking clean and uninterrupted. Now that all of the sleeve shaping is complete, it's time to work the cuff. At this point, I'll continue knitting in the round and transition into the cuff stitch pattern as written in the pattern instructions. For this sweater, the cuff is worked in half-twisted ribbing, so I'll alternate one knit stitch through the back loop with one regular purl stitch around. I'll continue working the ribbing for the number of rounds specified in the pattern, checking my length as I go. Keep your tension relaxed so the cuff remains comfortable to wear. You'll notice it naturally pulls in and fits more snugly around the wrist. That stretch is exactly what we want here. It helps the sleeve stay in place while still remaining comfortable to wear. Now it's time to bind off the cuff stitches. Just like we did for the hem, a stretchy bind-off is usually preferred here so the cuff can comfortably slip over the hand without feeling tight. For the stretchy bind-off, work the stitches as they present. Knit the knit stitches and purl the purl stitches. Start by knitting the first stitch, then purl the next stitch. Pass the first stitch over the second to bind it off. Continue across the round, knitting the knits and purling the purls, passing the previous stitch over each new stitch as you go. Keep your tension relaxed and avoid pulling the yarn tight. This helps maintain stretch along the edge. If you prefer, you can also use a regular bind-off. Just be mindful that a standard bind-off will be firmer and less stretchy, so try not to bind off too tightly. Once the bind-off is complete, the sleeve cuff is finished. Once you've bound off the cuff, break the yarn, leaving a tail long enough to weave in. Pull the tail end through the final stitch, then thread the yarn onto a tapestry needle. Insert the tapestry needle through the first bind-off stitch on the cuff, working from front to back. This helps close the small gap at the join and creates a clean, continuous edge around the cuff. To finish, I like to take that tail and weave it into the fabric on the inside of the sleeve. I'll pass the tail under a few stitches, then gently secure it with a small knot to keep everything in place. Repeat these same steps for the second sleeve so they match. Once both sleeves are complete, the sweater is officially finished. I hope you enjoyed watching your sweater come together. It's always such a special moment to reach the end and see it finished. In the next video, we'll cover wet blocking, weaving in any remaining ends, and a few final tips and tricks to help your sweater look its best. I'll see you in the next video.